Hello StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is a game between SortOf and Harstem on Lerilak Crest. In the top right side of the map, we have the green Protoss player. It is Harstem, representing Invasion Esport. And in the top left side of the map, we have the blue Zerg player. It is SortOf, one of my favorite Zerg players of the last year or so. Has really shown some aggression that I appreciate in the Zerg race with Zergling run-bys. Awesome plays with mutas as well, enjoys those lurkers, gets ultras when necessary, and is really adaptive and again aggressive in ZVP, which I do enjoy watching. Harstem, on the other hand, is a very solid Protoss player. Nothing too flashy about him, just good macro, good micro, good decision-making skills, and one of the better Protoss players I've seen as well in this tournament, which is from IEM 10 Katowice that wrapped up about a month or so ago. I will continue to bring you replays from that tournament as long as there are good ones to cast. Alright, you may have also noticed in the background, that is Brood War music, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it is Brood War music from Falcon Paladin. I actually could not get it to play through the replay interface. For whatever reason, even if I choose Brood War music, it just doesn't play anything but StarCraft 2 music, which is fine. But I wanted to get some nostalgia in here every once in a while, so that's what I'm doing today, thanks to some help from a YouTube video that I found entitled Remastered Brood War Soundtracks. Pretty darn good stuff. I put a link in the top right here. You can check those out yourself, or just search for Brood War music. You'll find them pretty quickly on the YouTube. Alright, so enough of the nostalgia, enough of the noticing the amazing Protoss music in the background. Let's get right on into this one. Double Assimilator here from Harstem. Cybernetics core about 50% complete. And a Nexus coming up, so a 1-get expand from our Protoss player. Meanwhile, it looks like a, patch first into an extractor, into a spawning pool for SortOf. Very standard play on this map as well. So Pro burning around, checking for a quick third. Doesn't see one there, doesn't see one there. Recognizes there will be some pressure pretty soon from SortOf. Again, that's something that SortOf likes to do. It's not a crazy 3-hatch opener, which can work. We've seen it work in the past, but not all the time. And SortOf's going for a more safe approach, now going for his third instead of what he could have done earlier if he had skipped the extractor and the spawning pool. So on the way are a queen, 4 lings, and speed coming up for SortOf. Harstem's getting an adept of his own and that Nexus. Overlord Scout looking good for SortOf. Nothing much to see at this point. I mean, really nothing around here but a Cybernetics core and a single gateway. And not until Harstem starts to build more structures will he know what's going on. A Stargate right at the front door. Surprising placement for Harstem. Usually Protoss players want to hide this thing, but Harstem seems to advertise this right at the front there. So we'll see if SortOf can see that. He has Overlords scouting around, but I don't think he's planning on scouting the front with Overlords. Lings are just being used for defensive purposes here. I think they're waiting for an Adept or two to show up, which is a good instinct, as there are some Adepts on the field, just not enough to actually get in there and cause them some trouble, because they're, again, playing defense. There we go, fully walled off. Neither player is super interested in doing much right now. Stargate, is that an Oracle? No, Phoenix play. So much Phoenix play in ZVP lately. And it's good. It is good. Protoss players at the low levels, figure out how to micro Phoenix. I know, you probably feel like you know how to do it already, but man, if you can micro Phoenix at the level these guys can micro Phoenix, your ZVP will be awesome. You can pick up drones, you can kill queens. You can pick up lurkers in battle. Can you imagine negating lurkers entirely in battles? That is awesome. So again, learn how to do it. You'll be happier, a happier Protoss. You'll make the Zergs you play cry, which is really, isn't that your goal all along? I think it is. Phoenix makes itself known by killing this Overlord. I've seen a lot of Protoss players make this decision. Killing the Overlord is fine with them. I guess they assume the Zerg already knows there are Phoenix coming. And in that case, there's no harm in revealing them this early in the game. In the bases of SortOf, do we see any Spore Crawlers? No! SortOf does not believe in static defense. He's going to make workers. He will replace the ones that dies, and so the ones that die, and so be it. He's making a Roach Warren, as a matter of fact. There we go. Now throwing down a Spore after losing a couple workers there. 2, to be exact. The Phoenix do fly on out. More Phoenix in production, though. These are not the only ones you're going to see. There are 3 there. There are 4. Possibly we could see as many as 5. 6 is a rare occasion in PvZ, but here come the Phoenix. Swooping in. Overlords. No, Overlords get to safety. There are no queens here. No Spore Crawlers at all. Oh boy, Harstem looking good. Oh, these queens were down there. I see. Stab, stab. Trying to kill the Phoenix. They're actually protecting this Overlord fairly well. Can they save it enough? No. No, the Overlord dies, and these guys fly back on over to kill yet another Overlord. Not supply blocking, sort of. Sort of is recognizing this eventuality and replacing Overlords quickly, or more quickly than they can be killed. So, smart play. Smart play indeed by Sort of. Now, again, the static defense was a little bit late, but it worked out for him in the end. No Spore Crawler here at the natural, though. I find that surprising. I wonder if the Phoenix know that. I don't think they do. Ah, catching the Queen outside the safety of that Spore Crawler. The Queen does end up falling. See what I mean, man? Phoenix are good. Phoenix are really good. David Kim has actually talked about the fact that it seems like Protoss always open Phoenix in PvZ, and whether they feel like that's a required tech path they have to take. Protoss players would say yes, they have to, because if they don't, then just mass Muta comes in and wrecks them. David Kim has kind of talked about basically making a cannon buff to prevent that from being as viable for Zerg, but I don't know. We'll have to see how that actually works out. Phoenix here killing stuff. Roach Ravager at the front door, taking down a pylon that has been overcharged. That Adept evaporated immediately. These Queens doing a lot of work too. Crocobile landing once again. The Phoenix come flying on in. What do they lift? They lift some Ravagers. Photon overcharged. Oh, taken down once again. There is one photon overcharged pylon right now. These sentries are the only thing between Harstem and death right now. Can he hold? Cannon ends up dead. Crocobile is doing fairly well for themselves. Really good against static defense, it turns out. Ling's pinning that Immortal into a corner. Can they kill it? No! Immortal lives. Immortal lives. Morphing in more Ravagers right at the front door. That Immortal is up to 5 total kills. Crocobile's landing, trying to kill what they can. Taking out that Immortal as well. Actually using an Immortal and sentries to take down Queen. Surprising. I think the Immortal's doing most of the work here, actually. And yes, sniping down Phoenix as well. This is a lot of gas-heavy losses for Harstem, but did he hold? Oh no, a Link run by. Oh, good force fields. I was going to say the Ling reinforcements might have been enough to spell Harstem's doom here, but instead, he gets the force fields up. Great positioning on that Immortal. Only a few Lings can attack it at once. And the Lings go to find some easier targets, which would be these probes, which are not defended by anything at all. One worker kill. Might try to take down the Nexus all by their lonesome. Meanwhile, another attack up here of Lings into this mineral line. Harstem kind of bouncing back and forth, trying to do what he can. Zealot holding the line. Great Zealot positioning by Harstem. And yes, these Lings actually might be able to take down this Nexus. Holy smokes. Can they get it? These Lings still getting cleaned up. The army mostly dealing with them. And no, the Lings can't get it. If they had upgrades, they might have been able to. But no, did not happen. Just running around being super annoying. Having Lings loose inside your base is the worst feeling of all time. The worst feeling for Protoss players. I could sympathize with that for sure. Lings try to find a safe place to be, but nope, the Zealots find them, and the sentries finish them off. Whew, alright, so it's 89 to 99 total supply. Workers killed by SortOf is only 5. Wow, Harstem's killed 3 drones of his own. 97 units killed by Harstem to 18 killed by SortOf. Look at that. That is so many dead units for SortOf. Harstem, on the other hand, not losing much. But again, some Immortals, some sentries. Again, pretty gas heavy on that one. See if we can find resources lost here. Yeah, 5,400 resources lost versus 3,000 lost. Definitely in the lead right now is Protoss, but coming in for another attack here is SortOf with the Ravagers, with the Queens, with the Lings. Great force field once again. Crocobile not actually used to take down force field, surprisingly. You could do that. That's what they were intended for originally. Come on, SortOf. Get rid of the force fields. No, he'd rather use them offensively. He'd rather use them to kill things, which is fine, I guess, except he has units back here that can attack. Strange decision-making from SortOf to this point, and once again forced to pull back a little bit, losing yet another Queen there. Crocobile taking down a pylon, but Harstem's defense, he's done this before, man. He knows what he's doing. Use force fields, use photon overcharges, use Immortals for their long range and their heavy hits. SortOf going to knock down these rocks very quickly unless Harstem can hold this. I don't know if he's going to be able to. He's not even trying to. Actually, SortOf taking down the rocks, and yep, they're going to fall. A Ling dies in the process, but that's about it. Probably a fair trade. Another attack up here at the front with Queens alone. Not super effective against buildings, but, you know, whatever. Pushing up once again here. Lings to the front line get evaporated fairly immediately. Crocobile's landing everything. We're trying to dodge with the Immortals. Queens stabbing away back there, too, using transfuses on units as they are possible. This attack is relentless from SortOf. It is 124 to 129 total supply. Both players are macroing heavily throughout this battle, but again, SortOf is 3 bases. Harstem is 3 bases. If Harstem can keep this particular situation, he's going to win this one for sure. More Ravagers getting morphed on in. Queens stabbing away. Ravagers taking down the gateways at the top of the ramp here. Immortal pops on out. Going to get some shots off and backing out. Backing out. Doesn't want to be there at all. Some Zealots walking on in, taking some units with them before they end up falling, as they inevitably do because they are basically cannon fodder for the Protoss army. The creep spread is right here at the front door. This is not something Harstem wants to see. He's trying to be very cost-effective with his engagements, losing a couple of those sentries in the front line. Not good. Actually using Corrosive Bile to knock down some force fields. A gateway ends up falling. The Stargate gets focused down to some extent, finally taken down there by Harstem. More Corrosive Biles landing, indeed. Lings surrounding units. This action is intense and crazy. Is sort of going to pull back. He is. He's going to barely pull back. That Immortal count is heavy for Harstem right now. Oh, snipes down one of his own creep tumors by accident. Does sort of. Is sort of taking a fourth base. It'd be funny if he took this one. Just slowly creeping toward the enemy front door. Starting to swing around this side. It's new rocks have been placed, though, in the form of a gateway and a pylon. Corrosive Biles everywhere. Thanks for playing. Oh, actually getting some hits off on the Phoenix, I think. I think that might have happened. A Ling run by attempted once again. Ravagers throwing down that Corrosive Bile to kill. Oh, force a cancel on a gateway. Another one is planted immediately by Harstem, though. These players are playing fast right now. Sort of at 400. Nope, 300, 400. Yeah. Both players over 400 APM just defending and attacking. Again, Sort of style is aggressive. This is how he plays. He's going to win this thing with 3 bases come hell or high water. Any upgrades on these suckers? No upgrades either. Taking out a gateway, taking down a pylon. So he's getting these little victories here and there, but I just feel like Harstem's army is getting a little bit too big, a little bit too scary in the long run here. The aggression is great for Sorta, but he hasn't done a whole lot to actually kill the Protoss player. 42 to 64 workers. Harstem definitely in the lead. This 3-base Protoss, if he can be cost effective and get up a big army, he might just march out these front doors and right down Sortof's throat, given the opportunity, as he's thinking about doing right now. Again, trying to kill creep tumors as creep as up here on the Protoss base buildings. Such a gross look. Nothing any Protoss wants to see. There we go. Sniping down those creep tumors a little bit too close to things and making his gateways look all disgusting and gross like that. What is this? What is this? Ah, Phoenix flying around. It's time, they said, to be aggressive. Flying back to the safety of these queens. This queen flying back to the safety of the Spore Crawler. Getting some shots on off there. There again is a Spore Crawler up here. A queen here too. Phoenix, I'm not sure what they can do. Another attack, trying to run on up, trying to bait things. Corrosive Bile trying to kill that pylon. And the cannon, not quite able to do it. The Phoenix losing numbers. Oh no, Phoenix, look out. Oh, all of them but one getting sniped down by those queens. Corrosive Bile tossed on down. Dark Templar on the way for Harstem. Again, one behind Dark Shrine, but he's ahead. 180 to 133 total supply. Corrosive Bile's landing again, killing a single Zealot. Army supply 115 to 88 right now. Harstem now making his move, pushing out across the creep, killing creep tumors as he possibly can. Where are his observers? There it is. There's the observer taking out these tumors. Oh, that we're building, forcing cancels on the other end here. This one does manage to escape just temporarily. Split up into 2 separate groups here as Harstem, but both very similar in composition. Immortal, Stalker, Zealot, Sentry in both of these compositions here. Again, it's very Heart of the Swarmish in here. Actually, very Wings of Liberty, to tell you the truth. DT's walking right on in. Transfuse on the Spore Crawler. Clutch transfuse. Oh! Oh, Warp Prism has 5 hit points remaining on it. Does manage to get the heck on out of there with 2 DTs as its cargo. The army moving up for Sort of in production is a Lurker Den. He's trying to make Lurkers work, but against Mass Immortal, I just haven't seen Lurkers have very much success in that particular situation. Immortals, again, +2 attack, 60 damage versus armored, a pretty fast attack speed as well, 1.04 on that weapon speed stat. 4th Nexus coming up for Harstem, while the 4th base has just been established for Sort of. Income tab 46 to 64. Protoss looking good. Looking really good economically. 189 to 163 total supply. 5 Lurkers in production, but I'm not sure if it's even enough with those 5 Lurkers to defend against what Harstem is trying to do here. Long distance mining, Sort of now on the back foot, now playing defense. Trying to throw down creep tumors as best he can. Harstem trying to kill those creep tumors as best he can, doing a pretty good job of it too. Pushing up here is low. It's Sort of. And at the front door are the Lings trying to knock things down. Photon overcharge being used. Corrosive Bile to cover the retreat SortOf, I just don't think he has enough to push up that ramp and deal with the army coming in behind him too, and he knows it. He knows he's in trouble. Where are those lurkers? Here they are. Lurker count a little bit higher than I expected. Currently there are 10 lurkers there. Trying to find a good position to burrow on in. I think maybe right on this ramp, if they can pull it off, would be fairly amazing. But again, that immortal count, if they could see the lurkers, they could take them out fairly quickly. Fairly quickly indeed. Ravagers, lings, lurkers, trying to set up in positions where they can kill stuff. Spines, Harstem, intelligently staying out of the range of the spines. Templar Archives coming up here too, and actually killing stuff on the high ground are the lurkers, getting rid of a pylon. Trying to take down a gateway too. Again, these little victories for SortOf are good. And actually, laying siege to the front door is also pretty darn fantastic. Small attack of DTs here do get cleaned up by the lings once again. And, ooh, getting a robotics facility. That was a nice pickup by SortOf. 189 to 200 total supply, actually maxing out himself here. No upgrades. I lied. +1 missile attack has finished here. And here comes Harstem. Guardian shield up on both of these groups, walking right into the lurkers. The Immortals trying to kill what they can, but the Ravagers tanking for the lurker spines. Everything evaporating here for Harstem on that left side. The right side is doing a little bit better with the support of the Archons. But no, Harstem down to 129 total supply. Going to lose that Archon too. Pushing on up with Hydras mixed in, and that's the GG from Harstem. Harstem's defeated, SortOf is victorious, and Harstem has left the game. Wow, what a comeback. Again, I kind of hate to say this, but I feel like Harstem deciding to attack into those lurkers kind of lost him the game. I mean, yes, he had lurkers attacking his buildings here at the front door. That was a problem. But he should have made Phoenix to lift up the lurkers to negate their presence. The Hydras hadn't quite showed up yet. Phoenix would have been very effective indeed against the composition that SortOf was running. But in the end, he decided to make his attack, tried to break that siege that SortOf had set up, and it cost him the game. So well played by SortOf. Who gets the victory today? Well played by Harstem to hold off the aggression for as long as he did, but it wasn't enough, and our Blue Zerg was the victor today. So that's it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook, both at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.